Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.
Thank you so much, Madhu. Have a good day. Hare Krishna and Pranam dear devotees. So welcome to our daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading sessions. So let me share the quiz results for yesterday's session. So we are right now 16 members and 7 have attempted the quiz. So on number 1 we have Atul Semi Prabhu, Vrindavan Pandar Prabhu second, Anandulasni Radha Mataji third position, and Anshi Mataji एक गलत हो गया. Fourth, Narhari Prabhu, one question wrong. Vijay Mataji and then Shyam Sundar Prabhu. Devotees to please attempt the quiz and still 7 members have attempted. So today we have Sandeep Prabhu who will take the session. So over to Sandeep Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So let's start with the Mangalacharan.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी।
हरे कृष्णा। तो कल हमने पढ़ा कि किस तरीके से भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने भौमासुर की कैद से निकली हुई 16,100 स्त्रियों की याचना स्वीकार की और उन्हें अपनी पत्नी के रूप में स्वीकार करके उनका उद्धार किया। फिर उसके पश्चात जब भगवान हस्तिनापुर से द्वारका की ओर प्रस्थान करते हैं तो हस्तिनापुर की स्त्रियां उनका अभिनंदन करती हैं और भगवान श्री कृष्ण उन पर अपनी कृपा दृष्टि डालते हैं। और किस तरीके से महाराज युधिष्ठिर जिनके कोई शत्रु नहीं है वो भगवान श्री कृष्ण को जब विदा करने जाते हैं तो अपनी चतुरंगनी सेना लेकर जाते हैं। और आज हम पढ़ेंगे कि किस तरीके से जब कौरव पांडव भगवान श्री कृष्ण को विदा करने जा रहे होते हैं प्रेमवश, तो उनके हृदय में कुछ कहीं ना कहीं उनके विग्रह का एक उदासी छाई रहती है और किस तरीके से भगवान श्री कृष्ण द्वारिका हस्तिनापुर से द्वारिका तक की अपनी यात्रा पूरी करते हैं। हरे कृष्ण।
भागवतम कैंटो फर्स्ट चैप्टर 10 श्लोक 33। अथ दूरगतान् शौरी कौरवान् विरहातुरान् सानिवर्त्य दृढं स्निग्धान् प्रायत्स्व नगरीं प्रियैः। अथ दूरागतान् शौरी कौरवान् विरहातुरान् सानिवर्त्य दृढं स्निग्धान् प्रयत्स्व नगरीं प्रियैः। अथ दूरगतान् शौरी कौरवान् विरहातुरान् सानिवर्त्य दृढं स्निग्धान् प्रायत्स्व नगरीं प्रियैः।
Atha, thus Durgatnam, having accompanied him for a long distance, Sorad, Lord Krishna, Kaurvanyan, the Pandavas, Vrihathanam, overwhelmed by a sense of separation.
Sanivartya, politely persuaded. Dridam, determined. Snigdhan, full of affection. Prayat, proceeded. Swanagarim, towards his own city, Dwarka, Priyae, with dear companions.
Out of profound affection for Lord Krishna, the Pandavas who were of the Kuru dynasty accompanied him a considerable distance to see him off. They were overwhelmed with the thought of future separation. The Lord, however, persuaded them to return home, and he proceeded towards Dwarka with his dear companions. Next श्लोक रोनी प्रभु।
श्लोक 34। कुरु जांगल पांचालान शूरसेनान सुयामुनान बर्हार्वतम कुरुक्षेत्रम मत्स्यम सारस्वतान था। कुरु जांगल पांचालान शारसेनन सुयामुनान ब्रह्मवर्तम कुरुक्षेत्रम मत्स्यं सारस्वतान था। मारुधन्वम अतिक्रम्य सौरविभोरयोपारणान् सौविरभिरन्यपा अनर्तन भार्गवोपगे चरन्तवो मग्धविभु मारुधन्वम् अतिक्रम्य सोऽविरभिरयो परान् अनर्तान् भार्गवोपा च चरन्तवो मनग्विभु. O Shaunak, the Lord Kurujangal, the province of Delhi, Panchalan, part of the province Punjab, Shorsenan, part of the province of Uttar Pradesh, Sa, with Yamunan, the districts of on the bank of the Yamuna, Brahmavartam, part of northern Uttar Pradesh, Kurukshetram, the place where the battle was fought, Matsyan, the province Matsya, Sarasvatan, part of Punjab, Ataha, and so on. Maru, Rajasthan, the land of deserts. Dhanvam, Madhya Pradesh, where water is very scanty. Atikramya, after passing. Sovira, Saurashtra. Abhirayo, part of Gujarat. Paran, western side. Anartan, the province of Dwarka. Bhargav, or Shaunak. Upagat, overtaken by. Shrant, fatigue. Vaha, the horse. Manak, Manak Vibhu, slightly because of the long journey. Translation.
O Shanuka, the Lord then proceeded towards the Karunjangna, Panchala, Sureshna, the land of the bank of the river, Yamuna, Brahmavarta, Kurukshetra, Matsya, Saraswata, the province of the desert and the land of scanty water. After crossing these provinces, he gradually reached the Sovira and Abhira provinces. Then west of these reached Dwarka at last. If any devotee wants to read the purport, then please raise your hand. Otherwise, I will continue. Roni Prabhu, please start.
Thank you, Guru. Purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The provinces passed over by the Lord in those days were differently named, but the direction given is sufficient to indicate that he traveled through Delhi, Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Saurashtra, and Gujarat, and at last reached his home province at Dwarka. We do not gain any profit simply by researching the analogous provinces of those days up to now, but it appears that the deserts of Rajasthan and the provinces of scanty water like Madhya Pradesh were present even 5,000 years ago. The theory of soil experts that the desert developed in recent years is not supported by the statements of Bhagavatam. We may leave the matter for expert geologists to research because the changing universe has different phases of geological development. We are satisfied that the Lord has now reached his own province, Dwarkadham, from the Guru provinces. Kurukshetra continues to exist since the Vedic age, and it is sheer foolishness when interpreters ignore or deny the existence of Kurukshetra. Should I move ahead to?
Yes, Prabhu.
You want to share anything here or should I move?
Please move, Prabhuji.
Okay. Tatra tatra patatra ye harir pratyu dayatar hanah shayam bheje disham paschat gavishto gam gatastada tatra tatra. At different places, how it so happened, tatratai, by local inhabitants, Hari, the personality of Godhead, Pratyu Vyata Arhana, being offered presentations and worshipful regards, Sayam, the evening, Bheje, having overtaken, Disham, direction, Paschat, western, Gavishtha, the sun in the sky, Gam, out to the ocean, Gataha, having gone, Tada, at that time. On his journey through these provinces, he was welcomed, worshipped, and given various presentations. In the evening, in all places, the Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites. This was regularly observed after sunset. It is said here that the Lord observed the religious principles regularly while he was on the journey. There are certain philosophical speculations that even the Lord is under the obligation of fruitive action. But actually, this is not the case. He does not depend on the action of any good or bad work. Since the Lord is absolute, everything done by him is good for everyone. But when he descends to the earth, he acts for the protection of the devotees and for the annihilation of the impious non-devotees. Although he has no obligatory duty, still he does everything so that others may follow. That is the way of actual teaching. And one must act properly himself and teach the same to others. Otherwise, no one will accept one's blind teaching. He is himself the awarder of fruitive results. He is self sufficient, and yet he acts according to the rulings of the revealed scriptures in order to teach us the process. If he does not do so, the common man may go wrong. But in the advanced stage, when one can understand the transcendental nature of the Lord, one does not try to imitate him. That is not possible.
थैंक यू रोनक प्रभु। तो यहाँ पर बताया गया कि जब भगवान द्वारका के लिए प्रस्थान कर रहे थे तो शाम के समय जो इवनिंग प्रेयर्स थी वो परफॉर्म करते थे, और यहाँ पर ये बताया गया कि किस तरीके से भगवान एक एग्जाम्पल सेट कर रहे हैं। इवन दो ही सेल्फ सफिशिएंट, उनको करने के लिए कुछ भी अनिवार्य नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी वो ह्यूमन बीइंग्स के लिए एक एग्जाम्पल सेट कर रहे हैं कि कर्म करना कितना जरूरी है। और हम भगवान को हर किसी चीज में इमिटेट नहीं कर सकते। जो हमारे जो कर्म क्षेत्र जो हमारे दायरे में है, हम वही चीजें कर सकते हैं। रोहन प्रभु, लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट श्लोक।
Okay, Prabhu. Girash, you want to add anything?
No, Prabhu. Continue. I just joined.
I think we are completed with the chapter. Wow.
Okay, go to the next chapter. No
Yeah.
problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I missed the last paragraph already. मैंने पढ़ा ही नहीं वो. Let me read. मैंने बस यहीं तक पढ़ा. That is not possible. The Lord in human society does what is the duty of everyone, but sometimes he does something extraordinary and not to be imitated by the living being. His acts of evening prayers stated herein must be followed by the living being, but it is not possible to follow his mountain life or dancing with the gopis. One cannot imitate the sun, which can exhaust water even from a filthy place. The most powerful can do something which is all good, but our imitation of such acts will put us into endless difficulty. Therefore, in all actions, the experienced guide, the spiritual master, who is the manifested mercy of the Lord, should always be, and the path of progress will be assured. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka.
So इसमें जैसे लिखा है कि अनुकरण और अनुस्मरण. So one is to copy and one is to follow. So our thing should always be to follow and never to copy. Also understand that we can never understand Krishna, why he does. As devotees also, many times we seek why Krishna did like this, why he did like this, why. But we are not supposed to, we are not supposed to understand his actions. We are supposed to follow his instructions. You know, we do not have the capability to understand why he did what he did. To see a materially logical thing in everything, why he didn't save, Abhimanyu, why he did like that, why he left Radharani, why he did that. Like, so all these questions that, yes, for a general public, it is okay. They want a logical answer and devotees have answers. But as devotees, then we should have faith and also understand that our path is to follow the instructions and not to understand why he did or what he did. And whatever wires are there, so that has to be taken from the tikas of the acharyas. So what is to be explained, they've explained, and we can hear, and which is not there, then rather than fall on a speculation or a forced reply, that we understand it is beyond me. And at some point in future, if Krishna wants me to understand, then I'll get the realization. But it is not hindering my bhakti, my process, and everything. So it is very important, therefore, in all actions, the experienced guide, the spiritual master, who is the manifested mercy of the Lord, should always be consulted, and the path of progress shall be assured. So if we do not take, guidance from the seniors, then the result will be that we'll follow our mind. So which is a disaster, if nothing else. So when we seek the direction of senior devotees, and something may be explained which we may not be able to digest, but still agar hum log usko follow karenge, so we will be spiritually protected. Materially it may have a ho sakta hai uska kuch वैसा result ना निकले जो हम चाहते हैं, but spiritually one will benefit, one will be protected. So now question is, are we here for a spiritual benefit or for a material benefit? Like this. So इसलिए प्रभुपाद लिख रहे हैं, therefore in all actions. He is not saying in some actions. He is saying, or in important actions. He is saying in all actions, an experienced guide, the spiritual master, whose manifested mercy of the Lord, should always be consulted, and the path of progress will be assured. Like this. And that also means not asking our spiritual master, घर कौन से नंबर का लूं, गाड़ी कौन सी लूं, शादी कब होगी लड़के की, लड़की की कब होगी. So, we should understand that he is not a Jyotishi, he is not a Superman. So, if we have any spiritual difficulties, anything hindering our spiritual, then we ask those questions and we'll hear the reply. And if we follow the reply, if we follow the instruction, then we will be protected and we'll make spiritual progress. Hare Krishna. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Giriraj Prabhu. Roni Prabhu, please move to the next slok, next chapter. Vrindavan Prabhu, please you start.
Hare Krishna. Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. Chapter 11. Sut uvacha anartan sa upvarjaya savrittan janpadan swakan dadmau darvaram tesham visadam shamyanniva. Sut uvacha. Sut Goswami said, Anartan, the country known as Anartan, Dwarka, Saha, he, Uprajya, reaching the border of Svridhan, most prosperous, Janpadan, city, Swakan, his own, Dadmau, sounded, Darvaram, the auspicious consul, Panchjanya, Tesham, of them, Visadam, dejection, Samayan, pacifying, Eve, seemingly. Translation. Sut Goswami said, upon reaching the border of his most prosperous metropolis known as the country of the Anartas, Dwarka, the Lord sounded his auspicious concept, heralding his arrival and apparently pacifying the dejection of the inhabitants. Purport. The beloved Lord was away from his own prosperous metropolis of Dwarka for a considerably long period because of the battle of Kurukshetra, and thus all the inhabitants were overcome with melancholia due to the separation. When the Lord descends to the earth, his eternal associates also come with him, just as the entourage of a king accompanies him. Such associates of the Lord are eternally liberated souls, and they cannot bear the separation of the Lord even for a moment because of intense affection for the Lord. Thus, the inhabitants of the city of Dwarka were in a mood of dejection and expected the arrival of the Lord at any moment. So the heralding sound of the auspicious conch shell was very encouraging. and apparently the sound pacified their dejection. They were still more aspirant to see the Lord amongst themselves, and all of them became alert to receive him in the befitting manner. These are the signs of spontaneous love of God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Roni Prabhu, we can move to the next slok. Anand Vilasni Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Text 2. स उच्चकाशे धवलोदरो अप्युरुक्रमस्याधर्षोणशोणिमा दाध्यमायमाना करकञ्जसम्पुटे यथाब्जखण्डे कलहंस उत्स्वनः. Synonyms: Saha, that. Uchchakashe, became brilliant. Davala udharaha, white and fat bowel. Darha, conch shell. Api, although it is so. Uru Kramasya, of the great adventurer. Adhar Shona, by the transcendental quality of his lips. Shonima, reddened. Dadhai Maya Manaha, being sounded. Kara Kanj Sampute, being caught by the grip of the lotus hand. Yatha, as it is. Abja Khande, by the stems of lotus flowers. Kala Hamsaha, ducting swan. And Utswanaha, loudly sounding. Translation: the white and fat bowled conch shell, being gripped by the hand of Lord Krishna and sounded by him, appeared to be reddened by the touch of his transcendental lips. It seemed that a white swan was playing in the stems of red lotus flowers. Purport: the redness of the white conch shell due to the lip touch of the Lord is a symbol of spiritual significance. The Lord is all spirit and matter is ignorance of the spiritual existence. Factually, there is nothing like matter in spiritual enlightenment. And this spiritual enlightenment takes place at once by the contact of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. The Lord is present in every particle of all existence, and he can manifest his presence in anyone. By ardent love and devotional service to the Lord, or in the other words, by spiritual contact with the Lord, everything becomes spiritually reddened like the conch shell in the grip of the Lord. And the Paramhansas, or the supremely intelligent person, plays the part of the ducting swan in the water of spiritual bliss, eternally decorated by the lotus flowers of the Lord's feet.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Should I move back to?
Prabhuji, next slok.
Giriraj Prabhu has raised.
Ji Giraj Prabhu, आप start. Prabhuji, you are on mute.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Tamupashritya nindam jagadbhaya bhayavaham pratiyudya praja sarva bharta darshana lalasa tam, that upashritya, having overheard, nindam, sound, jagat bhaya, the fear of material existence, bhaya avaham, the threatening principle, prati, towards, udyayu, rapidly proceeded, praja, the citizen, sarva, all, bhratrir, the protector, darshan, audience, lalasa, having so desired. Translation: the citizens of Dwarka, having heard that sound which threatens fear personified in the material world, began to run towards him fast, just to have a long desired audience with the Lord, who is the protector of all the devotees. Purport: as explained As already explained, the citizens of Dwarka who lived at the time of Lord Krishna's presence there were all liberated souls who descended there along with the Lord as entourage. All were very anxious to have an audience with the Lord. Although, because of spiritual contact, they were never separated from the Lord. Just as the gopis at Vrindavan used to think of Krishna while he was away from the village for cowherding engagements, the citizens of Dwarka were all immersed in thought of the Lord while he was away from Dwarka to attend the battle of Kurukshetra. Some distinguished fiction writer in Bengal concluded that Krishna of Vrindavan and that of Mathura and that of Dwarka were different personalities. Historically, there is no truth in this conclusion. The Krishna of Kurukshetra and Krishna of Dwarka are one and the same personality. The citizens of Dwarka were thus in a state of melancholy due to the Lord's absence from the transcendental city, as much as we are put in a state of melancholy at night because of the absence of the sun. The sound heralded by Lord Krishna was something like the heralding of the sunrise in the morning. So all the citizens of Dwarka awoke from a state of slumber because of the sunrise of Krishna, and they all hastened towards him just to have an audience. The devotees of the Lord know no one else as protector. This sound of the Lord is identical with the Lord, as we have tried to explain by the non-dual position of the Lord. The material existence of our present status is full of fear. Out of 4 problems of material existence, namely the food problem, the shelter problem, the fear problem, and the mating problem, the fear problem gives us more trouble than the others. We are always fearful due to our ignorance of the next problem. The whole material existence is full of problems, and thus the fear problems is always prominent. This is due to our association with the illusory energy of the Lord, known as Maya or external energy. Yet, all fear is vanished as soon as there is a sound of the Lord, represented by his holy name, as it was sounded by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the following 16 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We can take advantage of these sounds and be free from all threatening problems of material existence.
Thank you, Giriraj Prabhu. Prabhuji, we are almost done with today's time, but अगर 10 सेकंड लेके अगर आप हमारे स्टैंडर्ड के अकॉर्डिंग समझा सके तो
समझाने का तो प्रभु जी इसमें देखिए, इसमें कोई, क्योंकि जो भी श्लोक हमने पढ़े हैं ऐसा नहीं है कि हर एक में ही समझाने की जरूरत है. इसमें तो बहुत अच्छा है. सब एक चीज जो उभर के आती है, कौन बताएगा मुझे इस श्लोक में के तात्पर्य में क्या चीज उभर के आती है? बताइए, क्या चीज, व्हाट स्टैंड्स आउट? हु विल टेल? इन द होल परपट व्हाट स्टैंड्स आउट? What is standing out in the whole purport? जो पूरा purport पढ़ा, what is standing out? So what stands out is that Prabhupada's conviction and faith that Krishna and his holy name are non-different, and his faith in the holy name. That how much faith he has. अगर आप सर्च करेंगे आप पाएंगे हर 10वें-15वें श्लोक में प्रभुपाद तात्पर्य में पूरा हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र लिखते हैं. Because he has so much faith in the 16 words which Prabhupada is saying, which have been given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So similarly, when we chant, हम लोग सब लोग 16 माला कर रहे हैं. Most of us are doing 16 rounds. And ये Sunday को भी we were in a U block class, so I was discussing with them also what is the standard of chanting Prabhupada has given? What is the standard? Sandeep Prabhupada has given how many rounds to be chanted?
16 rounds, Prabhuji.
Okay. 16 नहीं दिया प्रभु जी. Okay. Shyam Sundar Prabhu, what is the standard Prabhupada has given?
16 rounds.
16 नहीं दिया प्रभु जी. Vrindavan Sundar Prabhu?
Minimum 16 rounds.
Correct. So the standard is minimum 16 rounds. And minimum 16 rounds means what? Means what? When somebody says bring minimum 40, 40 marks. So what does it mean? Should it mean that we should chant, we should always pass with 40 marks? Because minimum 40 marks is passed. है ना? तो इसका क्या मतलब है कि हमें हमेशा मिनिमम मार्क्स लाने चाहिए, क्योंकि बोला कि मिनिमम 16 माला करनी है, मिनिमम 40 नंबर आने चाहिए तो पास, है ना? ठीक है, वी आर गृहस्थ, वी हैव डिफरेंट, बट वी शुड थिंक दैट हाउ मच फेथ Prabhupada has on the holy name. How we see senior sannyasis, their hand is always in the bead bag and they're always chanting. ठीक है, हम लोग इतना नहीं कर पाते हैं, but we should try on a Ekadashi, on a Saturday, on a Sunday, then sit peacefully and chant. You know, इसीलिए मैं आप सब लोगों को बोलता हूँ कि सुबह माला करने के लिए ऑनलाइन पे आइए, नहीं तो मंदिर जाइए सैटरडे संडे को, भक्तों के साथ करिए. It has different potency, you know, and still we see there are only, I think, 8-9 people in the morning, 10 people maybe. I don't know where the rest are. You know, I have no clue what we are doing at those hours in the morning. Some are initiated, some are going to be initiated. What they are doing from 5 o'clock to 7:30 when we are chanting, I have no clue. Where they are busy, no clue. So we should understand, अगर हमारा जो प्रोसेस है वो बहुत ईजी है, बट अगर उसको हम ठीक से नहीं करेंगे, so then we will always struggle in spiritual life. और अगर उसको जो प्रोसेस दिया है उसको ठीक से पालन करेंगे, then we will find spiritual life is susukham. Otherwise we have experience, we struggle. Why should we struggle? We struggle because, you know, we don't have faith in the words and we don't follow the instructions. और उसका रीजन आता है कि हम पढ़ते नहीं हैं, है ना, कि हम पढ़ते हैं, क्योंकि पढ़ते हैं तो फेथ आता है, और पढ़ते हैं तो ध्यान से पढ़ें, परपट में क्या लिखा है, इसमें से क्या आ रहा है, क्या निकलता है, कैसे मैं अप्लाई करूं. सो वन थिंग, लाइक आई सेड, इट इज ट्रू फॉर मी आल्सो, इट्स नॉट, मैं आप सब लोगों के लिए कह रहा हूं, मेरे लिए भी ट्रू है. सो बहुत जरूरी है कि हम लोग अपना जपा ठीक से करें और फेथ रखें. अगर हमारे में फेथ होगा तभी हमारे में वाक शक्ति आएगी, हम दूसरों को बोलेंगे. ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता कि मैं किसी तरह से मुंह खोल के, किसी भी तरह से 2.5 घंटे मुझे मुंह खोलना है और कुछ होंठ हिलाने हैं, और किसी तरह से मन करते हुए, वो एक मन का आगे करते हुए मुझे वो 2.5 घंटे पूरे करने हैं. और मैं दूसरों को कह रहा हूँ कि आप भगवान के नाम को और भगवान को अलग मत समझिए, ये एक ही है, भगवान के नाम पे फेथ होना चाहिए, 16 माला करिए, प्रभुपाद ने बोला है. बट क्योंकि खुद नहीं कर रहे हैं तो दूसरे को कहने के, दूसरे का जो हृदय है वो टच नहीं होता है. तो बहुत जरूरी है कि हम जो है अपना आचार और प्रचार दोनों कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म पर रखें. जितना हो सके भक्तों के साथ पढ़ें, जितना हो सके भक्तों के साथ जपा करें. सो आप पाएंगे कि स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ बिकम्स वेरी वेरी, यू नो, आई वुड से वेरी जॉयफुल. Okay, ups and downs comes, but you feel joyful, you know. So to that to happen is that we should chant properly. So that is my request to all of you कि सुबह उठ के, बहुत सारी चीजें चाहिए शरीर के लिए, फैमिली के लिए, ऑफिस के लिए, बट इतना कर सकते हैं कि कम से कम 2 घंटे नहीं आ सकते हैं तो 1 घंटा आ सकते हैं. एटलीस्ट चैंट 8 राउंड्स विद डिवोटीज, यू नो, लाइक दिस. सो मेरी आप सब लोगों से हाथ जोड़ के ये निवेदन है कि जप के अंदर ध्यान दीजिए और देखिए हमारे आचार्य का कितना फेथ है जप के ऊपर. और एकादशी, सैटरडे, संडे, लेट अस ट्राई टू चैंट मोर राउंड्स, यू नो, लाइक दिस व्हेन वी हैव टाइम, like this. We can read also, ऐसा नहीं है, we can read also, we can do kirtan also, we can hear lectures also. It is all part of devotional service. But the most important in all our spiritual thing is the chanting of the holy name. So मेरी आप सब लोगों से यही निवेदन है कि जप पे ध्यान दीजिए, अपना जप ठीक करिए. मुझे मैं कल परसों में सुन रहा था, आनंद वृंदावन प्रभु और चौपाटी में है, वी आर ट्राइंग टू गेट हिम टू गिव ए क्लास. और प्रभु जी वी चैंट्स मे बी अराउंड 400, 500, 300, 400 आई थिंक. और वो जो सबके माइक ऑन रहते हैं, अनबिलीवेबल, एवरीबॉडीज माइक इज ऑन, एंड देन माइक, यू नो, कभी किसी की पिकअप कर लेता है, कभी किसी की. So much sound comes, you know, just chanting. All their congregation chants 2 hours with video on, mic on. Video on, so mic on also is there. Video on, mic on, and you chant, you know, like that. So those who don't chant, they don't get services or the classes like this. 2 hours chant there. Or so many devotees I've seen, they come at 4:30, they go at 7:30, which means they are chanting like 25, 30 rounds. 4:30 they come, 4 o'clock. Ek din mein 4 baje, 4 o'clock also people are chanting on the group like this. Because those who have to go early to the office and everything, 4 o'clock japa starts. There were maybe around 40, 50 devotees at 4 o'clock chanting. Naha dho ke tayar ho ke 4 baje chant kar rahe. So we must, take chanting, seriously and understand कि there is a purpose why everybody stresses on chanting. तो हमारा जपा बहुत अच्छा होना चाहिए, और जब जपा अच्छा होगा बाकी सब चीजें अच्छी होती चली जाएंगी. So that is my request. संदीप प्रभु तो वो गायब हो गए और मुझे छोड़ गए. So thank you so very much. So please come for chanting and give us your association. Hare Krishna. So we'll end the session now. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Prem